Okay, hang on. Let's see this. It's a 14-minute run. Ooh. It's with audio? Or is it quiet? Okay, let's do 25. Okay. 10k stat. Oh, there's no audio. Oh, very low audio. Okay, he's building up DF, honestly. Okay. He's in practice mode. Putting all shit down. Let's dash into a rock. That happens. Oh. Yeah, you just want to move a little bit to the right instead. Could have gone left there. Would have gone left on top of him. I need to go more left and even more. Yeah, that's fine. I can see the comments talking about why he likes dashing a lot. Dashing does give you a little bit of extra damage. If you are like very on top of the distance in between. Why does CVel's HP bar, when there's no DOT, why does this HP bar dance forward and backwards like that? Do you see that? It's like going back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front. Why is it doing that? Is it like stuck between two things? Yeah, you could dash attack. You could have been on the right instead of dashing there, jump attacking. He's using a green. He's not using a green pot. So that'd be definitely something I would advise to do on boss fights like this, especially when your attack speed is so important. There it's better to just dash to the right than to stand there and tank that. Could have thrown out one or two more attacks with every open. That attack hits nothing, so it's not really worth using. Now it's on cooldown when he's more targetable. It's better to stand, yeah, and then just dash away, exactly, and then just attack. There you can just go left for the fireballs, because now you're hitting nothing. Maybe he thinks hitting the tails also does damage to the boss, though. A lot of people think that, because that would be logical, but it's not. The tails don't take any damage for the HP bar. It's only the body. You could have stood in between the tail and the rock there, but that's a pretty narrow window, so I don't blame him for not knowing that. Yeah, it's good jump attack, yeah. Do you have blue blood on? Yeah, okay. Isn't there like a lifesteal skill that you can have on? It's better to short hop glide. A lot of people I know don't like gliding. You guys are fucking crazy. Gliding is one of the best things in the entire game. I'm probably here. These decent skills are off. I don't know if they were off. Oh, there we go. You can also stand on the boss more and just use the iframes to just keep standing on top of them and to keep attacking. Here, you always want to go to the left, but you learn that as you get more. I think it doesn't feel like as much of a downgrade to go to the right and just keep attacking the tails, but you don't do damage to the tails. So it's better to go to the left and to where the fireballs are, and then you can actually keep hitting. It's something that you need to get used to. Just like first fireball is short, second one is long. That was very close, damn. And the third one is around middle shot. It's better to stay on top of the boss. Also, you don't want to get put into the corner like this, so I would have dodged to the right here. This is fine, so you stay in the middle. So never go to the side this quickly, because it pushes you out further to the side where you can't hit him. And I'm sure he's hitting the tails here, thinking that he's doing good damage, but the tails don't take damage. As you see, the HP bar is not moving at all. So I think that's one crucial thing. I hope someone in the comment section pointed that out. Because it feels like a good option to dodge it like that. And it would be if the tails took normal damage. Yeah, no point in trying to almost get hit there. Just stay to the left. There you always want to... Because if he comes up like fully erect, you're dead. That's probably the main mistake, I think. The positioning on the fireball. Like, I would go in there and hit. Because this damage is nothing. It's nothing. It's a bunch of numbers, but you don't deal damage to the boss. I'm guessing that's probably most of the boss fight. Prepping the burst, probably want to see if he puts everything down before he binds. I think he's trying to. That's very close. Oh my god, he's really close on that. I wouldn't risk being that close. Yeah, that's good, that's good. No big beast out. I don't think he has all of his buffs here on the bottom right, so he can't see when everything is ready. So I think he missed the dragon there, the Jormungandr. Jump attack more, jump attack more. Don't respect the tails so much. The faster you move away from the tails, the more distance is going to be in between the tails, which means the more distance you cannot stand at all. You always want to just stutter step the tails slightly. That's why it's good to do practice runs. You would dodge to the right here. Always dodge to the right and go in. You always want to go in there. You want to stay on top of him and deal damage. You can always tank one of those green things coming from the ceiling. That's not a good way to dodge that. You want to jump. You want to jump glide in between the two rocks. And then from there you want to see if he spawns on top of you or not. I don't think he's using his what's the thing? What's the iframe where you do like a little bit of damage around you? More dark metamorphosis? I don't think he's using that at all. So that's something he wants to use. And here again, you want to go on top of Vellum, you don't want to go. But yeah, I mean, I'm repeating myself now, of course. Very good. And now you want to go in. You want to go in here. No, not go out. If you're going to iframe, you can go in, right? You can deal extra damage. But that's more like advanced. Someone who's like on their first clear or something, I wouldn't hold it against them. It took me a lot of clears before I started doing that. And now we get 2 tails in a row. Yes. And then go to the front, dash to the front. Oh, yeah, because that hit is pretty big. So you can just dash to the front. Once the third fireball is fired, the front is actually the safest spot to be. Okay, now he sees the bind, so he sees he has all of his buffs again. Oh, iframe. I don't think he uses his, what is it, Demonic Fortitude, I think it's called. That's also 10% extra damage, so you want to include that into your burst rotation. Yeah, keep attacking. Don't move away from the body too fast. But yeah, it's going to be the same feedback every time. Like, don't try to hit the tails. You want to hit the tails if you need Demon Force. Okay, now side. Let's see how he does this. Okay, that's bad. You will want to wait until he gets sucked and then pick a side. He's got enough. He's got enough with the dashes. But I've never seen him glide a single time. Once this guy figures out what glide is and how to use it, a whole new world is going to open up to him. For sure. Because the best thing as well is you can glide, you can do like a up jump into a glide, and then as you're coming down you can still weave in an attack there. Yeah, don't try to let him get into the corner too much. Oh, he's got different ways of showing the cooldown, because those are like different numbers. Oh, that's a spooky dash. Always careful for blind approaches. Approaching the boss when you don't see what they're already doing. And this is what you get when you move left. You want to always go to the left there. Oh, his buff freezer's ticked off. I wonder if he sees it. But again, I would get a green pot. A green pot would make this boss fight a lot easier for you. And he would have a lot easier time. Chaos Lock? Yeah, Chaos Lock could also be used during the breath phase. This whole time here, sees his buff freezer is off, but I don't think he's going to click it. To be fair, his decents are here in 10 seconds. And he's got, what, Maple Warrior on and Blue Blood, that's it. But he's in practice mode, right? So it doesn't actually cost any buff freezers, so you never want to take your buff freezers off in practice mode. It looks like he does have... His pets did put Blue Blood on, I think? Oh, and his decents as well. Oh, they were like instant, so I guess he has pet auto buff. Oh, iframe here. You need to iframe there. And now, because of buff freezer off, now his decent speed infusion is off. And because he doesn't have a green pot, now he's on 3 attack speed below where you would want to be. And you're trying to burst. It's still doable, of course. This character is definitely way strong enough to do it. But it's making it a lot harder than it needs to be. Plus, again, not using Demonic Fortitude. And here, picking a side, I would start at a side. And then if it's not there, go to the other side. But if you start in the middle... and then you pick a side, and then you go to the other side, you're like at the highest possible risk of not making it in time. You can still barely make it in time, so I mean this situation works for him. But if you just stay in the middle, wait until he gets sucked to his side, and then just rush to that side, you have way more time that you can hit him on the side, because it's like, it's free damage. Yeah, you never want to do this. You never want to dash like all the way, because like now you can't go anywhere. You have to iframe now, and you can do any damage. Him in fireball phase is actually being able to do free damage. Just iframe here. He never uses Dark Metamorphosis, so maybe he doesn't know Dark Metamorphosis is an iframe. And it's a DOT. Go to the right, go to the right. Yeah, just hit. I think you want to chomp, right? He wants to chomp a lot, because chomp gives you a lot of DF. I don't know if he's doing Cerberus chomps here. Not a DS can maybe tell us. Okay, that was kind of close. Not super close, but a little bit close. Here you generally want to jump attack and maybe press an iframe. Rocks can fall off map here on the right side if you're hugging the wall, and you can actually dash into an off map rock and get stunned into the tail afterwards. So you want to be careful for that. It's crazy how much there is on this boss when... Yeah, that general... Yeah, the fireball phase can be done way better. Oh, and now that's really, really dangerous. When he is up fireballing, when he goes down, he has an AoE knock around his spawn. And that can knock you into the tail, so you always want to stay clear. Or iframe whenever he's going back under, after fully erect get up. You don't want to throw away any lives for free there. Okay, this one as well probably would have been better to prep the burst a little bit before the bind, because now a lot of the damage is going to waste, sadly. Wait for the suck. Boom. Okay. Now we did it better. That's good. I would iframe here for the rocks. But, you know, the suck malfunctions a lot. Don't respect that tail too much. You could have hit a little bit more there before getting out. At least 1 or 2 more hits, I would say. And you're still in your burst, so those hits actually count a lot. But yeah, I'm not a DS main, but I would say throw in some Cerberus chomps. Iframe here. Yeah, it needs to iframe there. You're too close to that knockback on the get down. And you see the tails behind you. Tries to knock you back into those tails. It's I talk about this a lot during my runs on Vellum, but you basically just want to stutter step just a little bit. Like right here, you want to go to the right. Yeah. As soon as that right tail is gone, you go back to the right. Yes. You can stay on him. Yeah. That was way better. That was very close to how I would have done it as well. Oh, we accidentally pressed escape there. Okay, he's on the right side. Swan live. 7 minutes left. It's easy clear. I think I would jump attack here, but I don't know. Again, green pot will make this run super different. And I think he needs to Cerberus chomp more. You can definitely fight CVel in the corner, but it's harder, way harder than not fighting him. Okay, just jump. He just doesn't glide. He needs to figure out what gliding is. He's gonna love this class once he learns to glide. Cause you just glide a little, you just jump a little bit up, and then you glide a little bit to the side, and boom, you get a bunch of damage in. Needs to be attacking here. Just 1 attack to get the final damage. They're fixing that as well in an upcoming update, that you have to keep weaving in your dragon lashes to be able to do full damage with your or demon lashes, sorry, with your demonic, oh god, fucking names. Oh, he's almost dead. 0.4. Oh, he gets lucky. Gets it on this side. Doesn't have to work for it. Boom, gets the kill. It's pretty good. Let's see stats. IED is a bit low. DS has some extra. So if he increases his IED, uses his buff freezers, gets a green pot, this fight will be already a lot, probably half the time, I think. Just a bit of practice, it'll be way better. Something's going on in the comments section though, apparently. Small epic conspiracy, you think you dash too much? Yeah, I would just use glide more. Some instances where you end up dashing towards the sun or dashing away from the boss when you could have stayed and dipped DPS. Just walked out. This is more advanced stuff though, like staying on top of the boss during fireballs and staying more on top of the boss during the green poison. It's definitely stuff that's advanced, like way past mid-game, I would say, play for most people, because it feels like super dangerous, so you want to get out of there. But once you get more in control of that situation, you can actually do a lot more damage than you think you could, and you can more consistently get the bar down. The huge problem with CVel, if you're burst class, it's, you know, you just wait for your bind and you burst. If you're DPM class, you have to hit him constantly, so you have to take advantage of him being hittable. And the first 50% he's underground a lot, so whenever he's shooting fireballs, and then later once he starts doing green poison, you want him to do those skills, because then you can actually hit him and deal damage to him. Otherwise it's like impossible to confirm damage on him. So the main thing with I mean, I can go in on a weaker character, but the main thing with the main thing with the boss is that you want to keep them, you want to stay on top of the boss at all times, and you don't necessarily have to hit them. Do I have like a very weak weapon from like back in the day, my sweet water weapon? I can't strip my character very much for damage. Well, I can just dodge, right? I can get him to... You want him to get him to like 40% and then dodge. We can use a little bit of audio, a little bit of boss, a little bit of boss music. I think I left a monster alive here. Yeah. I use my Demon Slayer as well, but like this guy can rush as well. It's very similar in that regard. But like, you can do this, or you can do this. It's just a little bit faster, which means you can get an extra hit in. Plus you have more control, right? I can jump like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. But if you're rushing, it's always like, well, for Demon and Slayer, there's always one distance. For Demon Avenger, it's technically two different distances, but... You want to respect the get up, so you always want to be moving. But now we're in a safe spot. So for this fireball phase, you want to stay here and hit, and wait for that tail, wait for that tail. See how long it takes, and now I can hit. I can get a lot of hits in here, and there's like no danger here, no rushing like that. But what seems like a very dangerous situation is actually probably not as dangerous as you think. Do some damage on him so that we can see the poison. I'll do some basic attacks. Try to get his HP a little bit lower. So you want to respect the rocks, but not over respect them. It's all about learning the timing between seeing a skill and knowing when it's gonna hit. Okay, now I think the green mist can start. And it is harder. So you can hit. As long as there's no yellow tails, don't respect it. Kite it a little bit, and then get away for that come down on the end, so that you don't get knocked back by that. Okay, green mist, this is good practice. Okay, I'm gonna go to the right here. Now I know yellow tail is gonna spawn there. Now I'm gonna go here. Now this is safe. Now that's safe. I got stunned here, but it's in a safe spot. And you can get some damage in there while doing that. But not jumping all the way back and over-respecting that phase. But it takes some practice for sure. I could do with basic attacks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can get 9 and 10 in because of longer range. I don't think I can hit with the basic attack here. Also with audio, you could hear when he's going to fireball and not. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. You could hear when he's fireballing and when he's not. Also now I can go to the front. Now the front is completely safe, right? He did his second fireball. Those tails were stacked together. I didn't actually have buff freezers on me, so I didn't have a OK to click there. But yeah, I think glide is just super useful here, like to kite him like that, to get over him. Dashing does do damage, but... Not sure why I died there. I'm pretty sure this one didn't hit me. I should only take about 70%. I do take more damage because of my shield, so I take more final damage. But I should be able to still tank 1 and heal right after it. But there's just, in the beginning it feels like you can't stand anywhere and you're gonna die everywhere, but as you fight it more, you'll find that there's actually a lot of spaces where you can stand. But yeah, I'm wearing a wrong shield now, so I'm actually taking more damage than you should be. So maybe not the best character to show with. How much damage do I take from a single green? It should be like 55. Okay, that rock did not hit me. Should be like 55%, no? 25% more, 1/4, 50, 62.5%? I guess it did see me as getting hit twice. Let me tank one of these. Oh wow, that's actually almost death from 1. But yeah, I'm wearing a shield that makes you take more final damage. So not a big amount of room for me. But yeah, definitely don't get baited by hitting the tails. Hitting the tails does nothing for you. DS Glide is slightly faster than DS's? No, it should be the same speed. And then if you get him under 50... Oh, well. I'm on my last life here. Should be a little bit careful, because I don't have iframes like you do. Okay, I think it's gonna be... Oh, I saw left side now, so I know I'm here. So I would just jump attack like this. Just keep moving forward. And then as soon as you see the yellow, you can get out of the way. See him between the rocks. Try to get him a little bit to the right side. Don't fight him too much in the corner. Because once you start like shooting fireballs into the corner and everything, it can be a bit shitty. So now he's gonna fireball. But you see how slow the tails are actually coming up. So you want to have them overlapping more. The more they overlap, the more positions there are for you that you can stand. Oof, that's a lot of damage on that one. Oh, and now I got hit by a rock. Yeah. Well, obviously, I kill it in 2 seconds with binds and bursts and everything. But when you're trying to stand still... Yeah, I wasn't aware that the shield made me take... It's 25% extra damage. I thought the green hit me for about 50, but I guess maybe that's a normal or something. It kills me almost with the purple stack on the ground. Almost kills me because it's like 490,000 damage. It's a bit more than I thought. Yeah, and Dark Metamorphosis, he's calling that as well. And then Demonic Fortitude. So I think those are, in general, about the same things that I mentioned. I'm watching... rewatching is most dashes I do midway through are very optimal. It's not that they're necessarily bad. It's kind of like using your rope lift for every single rock spirit in Spirit Savior. You can do that, but the problem becomes once you start using it as a crush for every single one, you actually lose optimal. Just because you can doesn't mean you should kind of situation. But also like the title is please give tips, and then when someone gives tips it's like no, they're optimal. I mean that's gonna make people feel a certain way, I guess. Pet Bug usually talks by itself. I don't really need that iframe. I used Crows pretty good in most situations. Yeah, you don't need the iframe, but you could use it. Plus, it's better to use 2 different iframes, right? So that the cooldown is split between the 2, so you have more uptime in general. Plus, it also does damage over time a little bit. And as you get better during the fireball phase and during the poison phase on staying on top of the boss or very close to the boss, that actual extra damage from Dark Metamorphosis is actually going to start adding up. Most actually were optimal based on how CVel throws out his tail. Yeah, but again, I think what people forgot to say here is that you don't deal damage to the tails. I agree that the dashing to the side is fine and hitting the tails was fine during the fireball phase if the tails actually took damage, which they don't. So you want to do more like I did, well, without the dying, and then just slowly stay on top of the boss, move, stutter step, don't respect the tails too much. And if there is a situation where I died there, you could very easily iframe in that situation as a DS and then move out, and your damage output on the boss is going to increase greatly. As fireballs, as he goes down, he will knock you away, which might lead into death. Oh, you do know that. Okay, but you died to it twice, and the decisions that you made were kind of seemed like you didn't know that that happened, so I'm surprised at that. I guess, well, he does know now after dying to it in the video. Other times I know I'm safe when dashing even when I get stunned. That's true. Sometimes it's okay to just dash away and get stunned somewhere else because you know the boss is popping up anyway. But I would say definitely try to use the option of gliding instead and just jumping in between two rocks because then you have more distance options than just dashing. Dashing is always the same distance, right? So if you just do a short hop into a glide or something like that and into a cancel glide, you have way more options of distancing that you can do. I'd like to commonly not use buff freezers since I'm still in early game. Yeah, so if you're in practice mode, buff freezers don't get consumed. Again, this is something that you probably just don't know. But always keep your buff freezers on in practice mode. You only need one buff freezer going into practice mode, and you could die 15 times in HMAG, and every single one will get saved. They don't get consumed. So that's the great thing about practice mode, is that you save a lot of money that way. But again, that's just something that you can't know. It's really weird that that does happen. It's probably mentioned somewhere, but it's not something that's logical to assume. Salty Grip, thank you for the prime. Congrats on your 6 months and the new badge. Thank you. Why was Maple down? The maintenance is on the... It's mainly because Hayato was fucked. Hayato was broken. When the repositioning is remarkable and they choose the smallest window to position, just gotta pay close attention to why I do it. Seems a little bit. Regardless, it was my first day taking on CVel, so I only fought him a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, that's... We could see that, so you're definitely getting better, and you'll get better with more practice. I go with Apex side, even though I feel like all your dashes were optimal. I feel like you wonders for future harder bosses to learn just to walk. I think not just walk, but I would also just like use glide and use dash. Just explore all the options that you have. I would explore all of them. The movement is different from a flash jump. I would say in a lot of situations the movement is probably better than a flash jump, especially if stuff is falling from the sky. But the problem is in the control over your distance. That's where the problem is. Flash jump gives you more control over your horizontal distance, but less over your vertical distance. And if stuff is falling from the sky, vertical is actually kind of dangerous. A dash is kind of like a teleport without the immunity on it. Which can definitely be useful, but again, you don't want to use it as a crutch. I feel like it was used a little bit as a crutch in this fight, and using it sometimes where it wasn't the optimal choice. So exploring your options and Chaos Lock for sure, from time to time as well. Don't use Chaos Lock too early though, because Chaos Lock can sometimes hit like a lingering hitbox, so be careful. And again, tails don't take damage, so definitely ignore those. Facing with a friend, blowing him up, yeah. In due time, some mechanics will fix for sure, although there are instances where I actually do take the option to walk most times, dash out if there's... I didn't see an issue at all. She's very doable. It's a he, sorry. So back to damage gear from drop. I'm still too poor to make any big change. Sure, mate, don't want to rain on your parade since you seem a bit defensive to advise. Congrats on a clear. Listen, mate. Uh-oh, here we go. Rain on your parade, but you're not always going to be right. There are many occasions in this video where I did make the right call to use dash. There are many instances where I did choose to walk. It's fine if you think my instance... I think this is all coming, again, from not mentioning that the tails don't take damage. If the tails took damage, I can kind of feel why they're just, like, giving him shit that doesn't really help much. Because all in all, like, he didn't, like, but they say, like, we're just nitpicking, right? They say that in the beginning, because it's not like there's any huge fucking issues. But I think he just fundamentally doesn't understand that the tails don't take damage. So I think that's probably the more important thing to have to try to bring across, because I think that's the main disconnect of what's happening. This guy is doing a 16-minute 400 step breakdown of everything that's going on. That he's going into it more. His fireball animation suddenly got knocked into his tail. I'm not sure you understand what CVel does. Part to deal with that is to use an iframe, but why waste the iframe for 2 measly damage? Scrim through the video. Let's see why I save my iframes for inescapable moments. 103 fireball animation. Let's see what he's talking about. But so the whole thing is, yeah, if you're here, you have to iframe. But the other thing is, you just don't want to get yourself in a situation in the first place. If you're in this situation, it's because you were dashing and jumping and rushing all over the place instead of just slowly stutter stepping from one direction into the other one. If you go from the left here to the right, then you're just free at the end and you just dash out if you want to, but you don't even have to. You can just jump attack a little bit with whatever demon skill you have, that one that does a bunch of lines with all the critical rate on it. And if you're going left to right to left, then you should have timed it so that the third fireball is done by the time that the last tail is on top of you, and then you can rush out to the left and it'll be free on the left. Even if you get hit by a stun here, you're probably fine because it'll take a while for him to pop back up. So it's not so much that, you know, you should have done this, you should have done this in this situation. There's a bunch that stuff that you can do to prevent getting in that situation in the first place, so you don't have to use that iframe. But in this situation, it would have been fine to use the iframe because Dark Metamorphosis is a pretty short cooldown, and the Ravens is on like a 30-second or something, so he should have that back in time. Isolation will throw you to the side, maybe into his tail. I've learned from that mistake after finding him maybe a measly 4 times. Okay, now he's trying to pretend like I already know this after 4 times. Maybe you don't know what the boss... He's getting very defensive. I feel it's weird to put up like that you're looking for advice, but then get so fucking butthurt when people try to give you advice. That's probably not the way to go, but there might be some, you know, it's fucking online. There might be some autism going on. Just be super duper clear on why I stay clear as fireballs because of this. Yeah, but this only happens because you're moving with the dashes. And I think they're not getting that through to him. If you move with the dash, because I can already see this is exactly the distance in between a dash. He was standing here, then he dashed, and then he got a tail here. What you want to do is you want to stay in one spot longer, and then stutter step forward to make sure that the tails overlap. When the tails overlap, there's more distance for you to stand, and there's less death zone for you to stand in. And that way you can create more safe space for yourself. And that's what's going on. First few runs you were being punished, but this run you still... you were still being punished. Here's me dashing away. Yeah, but here you don't have to dash away. You don't want to be dashing away here. That's bad, because then you create more distance. You want to stand right here, because you have a tail here, which means you were on the right side of him. So you want to stay right here and attack. Second tail will spawn here, and then you move just a little bit more to the left. And then the third tail will spawn here, and then you move to a little bit to the left while you keep attacking. Because if you rush away now, what happens? You have a tail here, you can't stand there. And you get a tail here, and you can't stand there. Which means you also don't want to stand here, because if you do, you still can't move forward because the balls are there, and there's more tails that are going to spawn here, and this is going to become a danger zone. You want to create an entire safe zone by stutter stepping. If you dash here, you turn everything into a danger zone. And you reduce, you just make your run longer. And if you make your run longer, there's more situations that might kill you. Yeah, bro, at 129, I dash away for no reason. Yeah, exactly. But here you would have to dash or iframe, but that's only because you made a mistake before. I just got shot by a fireball and a tail. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be too open to all that. Literally shows up you're at the right of the indicator. You could have walked a little right and you're set, but nope, you have to dash. This guy is actually really trying. I appreciate him. Oh, now he's... Okay, here comes his profile and how good he is on other video games. My building in Fortnite. My Osu profile. Oh, no. Is that good? I've never played Osu. I'm sure this is extremely impressive. Hit accuracy 98. Yeah, I could probably never do anything near. Me building... Oh, here he is building in Fortnite. This looks very zoomer impressive. Me bopping kids in Valorant. There you go. Oh, wait, that's probably copyrighted music. Okay. I think... Yeah, I mean, this is someone who probably wasn't out to get a lot of feedback. Yeah, do Monster Park run and get a green pot. I should have mentioned it here, but I didn't in the description of the video. I really wanted to do a scuff run. I didn't want to spend any freezers to maximize mezzos and save money. I had a buff freezer. I really wanted to do it without freezer and green pot. And here, again, nobody says... Oh, here, in practice, you only need one brief freezer. It doesn't get consumed when you use it. The point is being more bare bones. Yes, I have it. I don't want to rely on it. I die sometimes I have to make sure. So even when people do give him the good advice, it's like he can't even say like, "Oh, thanks, I didn't know that," and then add this to it. He doesn't even say that point. He seems very... I have Autopilot and honestly didn't notice lol. I was too confused, too focused. Okay, this is like the only one where he... See, and this is one where he responds kind of positively, and he gets his upvote. So it's not like people are just barreling down on him or something. Goes out to shoot balls, stay under his chin, wait for his first tail, and then step forward. Don't dash, then do it again. If you dash, you waste time and get too far out to DPS him. Why does nobody mention like the area of death? That's the more important part, I think. Right, to see what you're saying. I could iframe the end of the fireball thing is when I did try to attempt to DPS him during that time. His tail is still a problem as it shoots around my area. Today was my first day actually trying to kill him, so I don't know how I even managed that. I want a flawless run. So I don't understand what people say under his chin. Yeah, because you're doing it too late. You're only doing it half the time. I don't know. I'll upload this and maybe the little demonstration of the video, we'll link it here. Maybe we'll get a vote from him, okay? Watch it, Rith Sayoth, alright? You can do it, alright? There's a lot of room for improvement. Just be open. People are trying to help because you asked for help. Sometimes people are not as good at explaining what they try to tell you, but look at how I moved, right? Try to use glide more. And yeah, hitting the tails doesn't do anything. So those are just a distraction. Those will get you killed, okay? But good on you for practicing solo, even though you may have just gotten carried to get the gear to be able to solo in the first place. But but still, good on you, all right? Keep trying. All right.